Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and I want to show you a very easy way to upgrade your sound in your BMW with an amp upgrade from BimmerTech. So it's really not that hard to make a dramatic difference, actually, even without changing the speakers in your BMW. So today we're going to be using my F87 M2 and I'm going to show you how you can change your amp out that's in the trunk. This is a really straightforward project with really a few simple tools, and it brings a tremendous amount of benefit even if you don't plan on changing your speakers. You know, maybe you've got a leased car and you don't want to go through all the effort to change all your speakers out, or you just simply want to get a little bit more out of the factory speakers, and this is a great way to do it. The premium amp upgrade from BimmerTech is a very easy plug-and-play difference that we're going to add in the trunk, and I'm going to walk you through every step along the way. So let's go ahead, take a look, and let's get started. So to be safe when we do this, we're actually going to be unplugging the battery. We're going to be pulling the negative post off the battery. So what you want to do is you want to get to a place where you can do that. So go ahead and pull your tray out here from the trunk. Set that aside. Now, one advantage we're going to have here with the F87, where you're going to have a little bit different setup depending on which car you have. Very frequently, the battery is over here on the right-hand side, and you have to pull this cloth cover out and open to be able to get to your battery. Now, the nice thing is with the F87, it's right here in the center, so we don't have to do that. But I just definitely want to call that out as something you're going to need to do. Now, the other thing that we want to stress is that you're not going to want to close your trunk. As soon as you close your battery, you can lock yourself out of your trunk, which is a huge problem. So there's a couple of things you can do. First, you can put a loop or a cloth through your lock loop here. But if we have to pull this trim, then you're going to have to remove that cloth anyway. So really, honestly, the best way is just unlock both of your back seats. That way, if you have to, you can crawl in through the back seat and plug your battery back in. Okay, so you're going to want to take a 10mm socket and undo the nut right here, and then pull off your negative post and just tuck it down and away into a safe spot. And then we're going to be pulling the carpet here from the left-hand side because your amp is down underneath the carpet on that side. Okay, so now that we've got the battery unplugged, obviously we lost light, so get a good light, set it up. And we've got this plastic trim piece here that covers your locks and also is holding down your carpet. There are 4 of these plastic push rivets that hold it down. So what you're going to do is take a plastic trim tool. There's a little notch in the side, and I pulled them out because I wanted to show it to you. Just lift the center pin, and then the entire push rivet comes out. Now, you could take this entire piece off, but I'm actually going to try to avoid it. What it's doing is it's holding down the carpet on this side. So I've pulled this edge up a little bit, and it's pulled the edge up from the rubber this outer gasket just a little bit so it's loose. So I can slide the carpet off. Now what I want to do is I want to show you all of these push rivets, because there are more of these holding the carpet down. Now you've got your power outlet here that we're going to have to move. We're going to have to walk the carpet off a little bit. That's off camera right now, so I'm going to change so I can change the view so I can show you what it looks like. But there are several of these push rivets, one up here high that I'll show you in a second, one towards the front, and then we can start to work this off. Now the other thing we're going to do, and I'll show you, is you have your cargo loop back there underneath the cover that we're going to have to use a torx bit to pull that out and away. So let me grab the camera, let me show you each one of those and what we're going to remove. Okay, so let's take a closer look at everything we were going to want to do here. So first of all, you're going to want to take your plastic trim tool and walk the edge of the carpet out and away from the rubber gasket, which you can see is now loose. Now, then the other thing we're going to want to do is pull all these plastic rivets. Now, again, you've got a plastic rivet for this loop right here. We're going to deal with the power outlet in just a second. And then, as we look up, forgive the shadow here, you can see a push rivet right here that I've already partially pulled down so you can see it. So there it's out. And then you can see a push rivet all the way up there in the front that I've already popped a little bit, so you can see it a little bit better. And then you've got your cargo loop right here. And this has got a plastic cover on it. You can use your plastic trim tool to pull the cover off. Then we have a torx bit. We're going to take this out. So let me show you that. Then we're going to take the power outlet out. And then this carpet we can start to work out in a way. Okay, so let's kind of show you where we are. So the carpet is basically loose at this point, and I have the outlet out. So I pulled it out because I wanted to show you, thought it a little bit easier to show you kind of after the fact. So here's the outlet. And it has all these little plastic flanges. As you can see, that's the only thing that holds it into place are these flanges in the carpet. So you just put your plastic trim tool underneath, pry one edge up, and then just gently pull it free of the carpet. And then it's just simply a push plug here on the back. So you can take that, unplug it. The cable's now tucked back behind on the carpet. It fell behind a little bit, but you'll pull it out when we put it back on. So now at this point, the carpet is pretty much loose, as you can see. We've got this upper edge done. We have all the push pins out. We've pulled this T40 Torx bolt for the cargo loop right there. That's out. And the front push pin is out up there, right in the front, and the one that's pushed up right in here. So now it's just a matter of just working the carpet out. Now keep in mind, it ducks into the bolster on your seat right there. So it ducks in a little bit, so you have to pull that free. And then, like I said, I'm trying to keep from having to remove this if I have to, and I really don't think I'm going to need to. It's just going to be a matter of just working the carpet out and away from this plastic. So just take it, gently work your carpet out, pull it down and away, and the whole piece will come out. And then I'll show you what the amp looks like sitting underneath here. Okay, sometimes you have to change what you're doing in the middle. So now I've said a couple of times I'm not going to try to take this plastic piece off, and I just did it. So what I found is that trying to pull the carpet free from the plastic without taking it off was really hard. I was really fighting it. So all I did was just slipped this up and off. And then, as you can see, the carpet just folded back very simply, and I didn't even have to pull it free up where it tucks into the up into the front bolster right up there. So this is actually easier. And everything I want to show you, I want to do this the easiest way possible. So take this off and then fold the carpet back a little bit, and now we can see the amp that's under here. So we've got the factory amp right here, and we have our ASD, or active sound design module, right here as well. Now there's a 10mm nut right here, and this is mounted into a frame that we're going to push up and away. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this 10mm nut right there, and then this frame will slide up, and we're going to take it and we're going to set it right here where we can work on it. We're going to unplug it. This is where the new amp is going to go, because it's going to mount into this frame, and we have to change our plugs a little bit, but all really straightforward. So next steps, go ahead and take your 10mm, pull this nut off, slide the frame forward and up and out, and I'll show you how to unplug these little like horseshoe collar style plugs right here. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the amp out, and it just slides forward and then it comes loose, and there's enough cable length here that you can kind of pull this up and away. So there are two of these horseshoe collar style plugs, one for the active sound design module right here and one for the amp. And I'll just show here on the ASD module, because it's the easiest to show. Press down on the little tab and then walk the collar back, and then the plug comes loose, just like that. And you're going to want to do the same on the other side. So depress the little tab, and I know that's probably hard to see right at the moment. They may be a little stiff. They've probably not been off since it's been at the factory. There you go, lock that collar back, and then it's free. Now the other thing you're going to want to do is now we're going to want to pull the actual amp itself, and there's an 8mm nut right here, or excuse me, an 8mm bolt right here that we're going to want to take off. So let me walk this, see if I can walk this back here for you. And then this will free the amp from the tray. Now the amp is also slotted in onto the tray in a little V shape. So you're going to want to press down and away, just like that. Okay, so as you can see, the amp is out. That's really simple. We're going to take this and set it aside. We're also going to go get the other amp. But the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to transfer this plug, this gray plug for the black plug that is on the ASD delete cable that I'm going to show you in just a second. So let me show you how you do that. Let me go put my amp aside. Let me go get the new one, and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, so we're going to use the ASD delete here as a good example, but you're going to do this twice. Basically, you're going to transfer this black cover for the gray cover that's on the original OEM cable down there at the ASD delete. So there's actually two plug blocks inside of here and this plastic cover. So what you're going to want to do is lift the little tab that's right here, and then the plug will slide out just like that. You see how it slid out like that? And there's another one on this side as well. So you just come in here, and you take this and you can slide this plug out, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to transfer these covers. We're going to take the white cover or gray cover off of the original one, transfer it here. We're going to take the black one, transfer it there into the same plug positions. So all you have to do is just take this and slide it out. And you can see the black and gray, and it's going to go back in the same orientation with the other cover. So now take the gray cover off, slide it off, and if this is the gray one, slide it on here. Okay, does that make sense? And then put the black one on the original down there. Super simple. Okay, so then you're going to plug this back into the module. Now I'll show you, but I wanted to make sure you got a really good explanation of how to transfer this, because it is really simple, but I don't want it to be confusing. So now that that plug is transferred, which you should hopefully be able to see right here. So as you can see, I've got the black one here, I've got the gray one here, and we will plug this back into this ASD module right here. So now we have the amp. The amp is going to slide into place. It's got the same V design. It's going to slide into that same frame, and you're going to put the 8mm bolt back into the flange right here. You've got your plugs at the other end. You can see this is where the OEM harness is going to plug in with that same horseshoe collar. Just put it into place, then snap the collar up. Then you've got your power cables that are going to come off and plug in, and there's really only one logical place for each, so they're both going to plug in here and here, and we're going to slide this into place. So I'm going to plug all this in. I'm going to connect this, plug these two cables in, slide it into the mounting frame, and put in the 8mm. At that point, you're just going to slide it right back into the same original spot. So let me do all that, and let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so before I put it back into place, I wanted to show you what it looks like all plugged back in. So I have the main wiring harness here, of course, with the OEM cable plugged in and with the horse collar up and snapped into place. Make sure that these are in and solid. Obviously, we've got the ASD delete here plugged in with our extra cable, with that extra loop. But the other thing I've done is I've also plugged in the USB cable, because the cool thing about this, and one of the coolest things that you're going to get in installing this, is you have a programmable amp. There's a software you can run on a laptop. You can plug it in, and you can actually get into really serious amp design depending on what you have for your speakers. So there's a lot of different options out there. BimmerTech is really great and can help you and give you lots of information, but it's also at a very high pro level of the things that you can do with this amp. Now, I may never do that, but I want to be able to run my cable, so if I ever want to, and I'm going to run the cable up and out and over into this well where it's just going to sit, but I wanted to show that to you. And that USB plug is on what is essentially the back side of this amp, so it's a little hard to get to and a little hard to show, so I wanted to show it to you now. Cable management is always important, but you're going to want to take the harness and work this down and set it down into place. Remember that there's little loops that the frame goes over, so you're going to put it down in the front and slide it back so it locks over those loops. And then you're going to take that 10mm nut and secure it back down. Then you're almost done. We're just going to be putting it back together. So let me get the amp in place. Let me show you what that looks like. We're going to work our carpet back into place, put all of our push pins back in, plastic cover back on, and we're about done. Okay, so the amp is down and secure. I just wanted to give you a good view of that. Now, the one thing as we put this back together, don't forget the power cable for your outlet back here, and you're going to want to pull that through the hole in the carpet, because now we're just going to bend the carpet back and put it back into place. But as you can see, it's in and nice, and I've got my USB cable that I'm going to run underneath the carpet, and like I said, back into the well over here so I can get to it if I ever need to reprogram my amp. But the install is really quite simple when you get down to it. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my carpet back, put it back into place, put all the push pins in, put the outlet in. Let me show that to you when it's done. All right, so one quick last walkthrough before we put the base plate in. Like I said, the advantage the F87 has is it has the battery right here instead of being tucked over on this side. So the plastic trim is back in, as you can see, and all the rubber gasket is down flat. Really important to make sure you don't have any leaks. Carpet is in and behind the rubber gasket, and it's all in the right place. All the bolts and plastic rivets are in. Our cargo loop is in. Everything is pretty much all good to go. As you can see, I've tucked my USB cable all the way up there, just up there where it's safe, and this back floor piece will help hold it down into place. So if I ever want to program my amp, I can. So the last thing you have to do is plug your car back in. Don't forget that part, right? So you're going to take your ground, put it right back on there. You've got your 10mm nut, which I'm just going to hand tighten here really quickly, and then just tighten it down, and you're all done. It's really that simple. Not bad at all. Okay, so we're all good to go. Now keep in mind, you're very likely going to work with BimmerTech that might code your car to make sure that it's all set up properly for this amp. You also have your ability to program your amp, which is awesome if you really want to deep dive into that technology. But all in all, as you can see, this is a really simple upgrade and shouldn't take you very long. All right, all cleaned up as you can tell. This really is a simple project, and all the tools you're going to need are listed in the description below. This is something you can do at home with really not very much time, and it's going to make a dramatic difference even with the OEM speakers, and it gives you the advantage of having a programmable amp, which is really cool if you decide to deep dive into that technology and really understand how you can manipulate and tweak those settings. Thank you to BimmerTech for making such a fantastic product. Please make sure to click subscribe and a little alarm bell. I have a ton of projects coming that I'm really excited to share with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.